Could you analyze the match for us? How did you choose the penalty takers?
The match was, well, it was difficult and complicated for us, as it always is against them, especially after conceding a goal just 1 minute into the game. After that, the match became quite clear. They defended a lot and tried to attack us on the counter and with quick transitions. Obviously, our priority was to maintain effective ball possession and try to create scoring opportunities. Another priority was to avoid making the match more complicated for ourselves because the game and the tie were level. I acknowledge that we could have controlled the game better, but doing so against Atletico de Madrid is really difficult. Defensively, they are one of the best teams out there. There's no doubt that they execute their defensive strategy very well. They defend strongly, both with and without the ball. When they defend, they do it all together, making it very difficult to break them down. We managed to create an attack in play with a wonderful move from Mbappe, but then we missed the penalty. From that moment on, the game was very evenly matched until the end. Regarding the penalty shootout, we tried to select the 5 best players for the task, starting with the best, which was Mbappe. We had some doubts about the 5th taker, but since Rüdiger had already taken and scored a penalty against Manchester City, we gave him the 5th shot.
Cholo Simeone has cast doubt on whether his player touched the ball twice during the penalty kick. I believe it was his goalkeeping coach who spotted this and alerted the referees to disallow the goal. What is your opinion on this?
I understand that by the time we noticed this detail, the referees had already detected it from the VAR room.
How did you experience the penalty shootout?
With calmness, because when it comes down to a game of luck, it's like flipping a coin to see if it lands on heads or tails. You can't lose your mind over it. You just have to wait and see what happens, and in the end, it landed on heads for us.
How is Mendy? How long do you think he could be out?
I'm not sure, but I can tell you that he felt a pull in the back of his leg, and I think it could be a muscle injury. The doctors will run tests in the coming days.
Was it predetermined that Vinicius would take the penalty during the match?
Yes, it was decided beforehand that Vinny would take it, but unfortunately he ended up missing it, as we all know.
Camavinga has been heavily criticized this season, but his entrance into the game was key in giving the team strength. How have you helped Camavinga regain his form after a difficult start to the season?
He returned to his best version in the most difficult match so far. Certainly in previous games he had been at a lower level, but he came into this match and helped the team a lot. This does not mean that the Modric-Tchouaméni duo didn't perform well, but Tchouaméni already had a yellow card, so I preferred to make changes to avoid risks. The Camavinga-Valverde pairing in midfield worked very well.
How do you think the match played out from a mental standpoint? We saw frustration among the players during the game. What did you say to them?
As I said before, I tried to explain to the players what the priority was. It was simply not to complicate the match with unnecessary plays, because we could lose possession in a dangerous way, and the opponent could catch us out of position. If they had scored a second goal, then the match would have become very complicated. I think this is why my players didn't force plays and why we didn't create many opportunities.
You said there were doubts about the 5th penalty taker. Did Rüdiger offer to take the 5th penalty?
We were deciding whether Endrick or Rüdiger would take the penalty, but then after seeing Endrick's face, I chose Rüdiger.
You substituted Vinicius 3 minutes before the end of the match. Was it to prevent him from taking a penalty in the shootout?
No, he wasn't going to take a penalty anyway, but he asked to be subbed off because he was very tired, so I replaced him. But the plan was for him not to take a penalty.
Don't you think you could demand more from your players? Not just as a group, but also individually?
Well, improving and evolving is something we always have to strive for. We have to work on that in every match. Specifically for this game, I tried to explain to them what the priority was. I know it seemed like we needed to score a goal, but in reality, we were never out of the tie for a single minute. At worst, we were just level in the tie.